Wild Card weekend. There are a couple other games I want to touch on. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Chiefs destroyed the Steelers again. It was the second time that they've just manhandled them physically and psychologically. Really over the last 3 weeks, they blew them out in week 16, 36-10. So we knew that the Chiefs were the better team. That's what we knew. Nothing surprised us there. The question was, how would Pittsburgh's offense be able to play? Would they be able to push the ball down the floor? Would they be able to actually execute enough plays to give their defense enough energy, enough juice to try and keep up with this Chiefs offense? That's what this game came down to. That's what we knew it would come down to, because as great as their defense is and can be, would the offense be sputtering? That was the biggest question mark. And when you look at the start of the game for the Steelers, they couldn't have started the game any better. First quarter, tied 0-0. Scoop and score by TJ Watt to take a 7-0 lead. The problem was the Pittsburgh Steelers offense couldn't capitalize on the early Chiefs empty trips. They just couldn't. They simply couldn't. And the Steelers punted on their first 7 possessions. If you punt on your first 7 possessions against the Kansas City Chiefs, you are practically begging to lose the game. It also doesn't help when who should have been your most reliable receiver, Deontay Johnson, dropped a bunch of critical third down slants over the middle, just short, easy balls through his hands. I understand the temperature's colder, but not an excuse at this time of the season. And so they just kept shooting themselves in the foot time and time again. And the Steelers just could not push the ball down the floor. They only had one pass go for over 7 yards in the first half. They only had one completion of 20-plus yards. And only 4 times did they complete a pass 10-plus yards in the game. So obviously, from an intriguing, an interesting, and entertaining standpoint, the Chiefs were always the much more favorite type of pick to make. Would be the better choice. That's what we know from that standpoint. And in a lot of ways, we also knew what we'd get from the Steelers offense, which is a very predictable, mostly anemic offense. That's typically who they have been and what they have shown. And despite all of that, despite the fact that the Chiefs were clearly going to be the better team, despite the fact that all the X's and O's favored the home side, I still found myself very conflicted watching this game. Because on one hand, I found myself really torn because I wanted to root for Big Ben and the Steelers just because, for sentimental reasons, anytime you see a legend, and I have so much respect and appreciation for legends in any sport, you see a guy in Big Ben who's likely going to retire, although he hasn't officially announced it, and you see the Steelers and Mike Tomlin and that brand, but especially for Ben Roethlisberger, you just want to root for them. Even though it's not pretty, he doesn't look good when it comes to athletes on a football field. But the respect level that is clearly there is the reason why I found myself partly rooting for Big Ben, just to see this kind of last dance continue, to see how long it could last. And while that was pulling a part of me, the other side was pulling my appreciation and affinity for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and just how explosive their offense is, how talented this team is. And that's the thing about them is, especially on offense, their offense is so much predicated on the confidence and the swagger that they play with. This is almost like watching the Harlem Globe-Trotters of the NFL. The only difference is the Harlem Globe-Trotters in the basketball world, they would intentionally showcase and flaunt their elite handles and their dribbling display and their incredible vision and passing ability. That was all intentional. That was deliberate. the Kansas City Chiefs, their kind of eccentricity and their electric and stylish plays on offense, that's not forced. That's simply who they are. That's simply the creativity of their coaching staff, the confidence that they have in their players and their personnel on offense shining through. So when they go to that underhand touchdown toss to Jerick McKinnon, when Patrick Mahomes throws a short just jump pass to their guard, Nick Allegretti, when Travis Kelce executes a touchdown pass from 2 yards out to Byron Pringle, they're not doing that simply to show off, simply to act like an arrogant, entitled group. Even if people interpret it that way, they execute that because those are the plays that they legitimately practice. That Andy Reid, that Eric Bieniemy, that coaching staff, that offense truly feels comfortable doing, because they truly think this is the best play call at that particular moment, not what's going to garner the most oohs and ahs on social media from the crowds later. And I think that's one of the big reasons why they're so fun to watch. It's just because they've got that creativity. And for all the problems that we have said have plagued this team all year, and I still am not sure whether or not it's just a matchup advantage versus they've truly woken up out of the slump on offense that they had allegedly had, because against the Raiders and the Steelers, their offense has been a well-oiled machine. Regardless, they've been clicking. Patrick Mahomes was sensational yesterday, over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, was in control, was distributing the football beautifully, and just a great job of getting multiple guys involved in the offense. That's when they're at their best. And it's amazing that this team doesn't score a single point for the first 25 minutes of the game, and then the final 5 minutes of the first half, they score 3 touchdowns. That's how quickly they can strike. And you have to give credit to the defense, because since week 6, weeks 1 through 5, they were the worst rated defense in the NFL. Gave up 32 points per game. From week 6 on through week 18 into this postseason, their defense has only given up 16 points per game, which has been one of the best in the NFL. And it's great to see. So on the one hand, it's a little bittersweet to see Big Ben go home, but at the same time, I'm excited and encouraged by what I've been seeing from the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think they're really starting to peak into form. And next week's matchup against the Buffalo Bills is going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to watch that one next Sunday night.